Welcome to another episode of AI 10X brought to you by 10 Leaves. Imagine waking up on, say, a random Tuesday morning. You stumble into your kitchen, kind of half awake, and you reach into the pantry.
It's a normal morning routine.
Exactly. And your favorite brand of coffee is sitting right there, waiting for you. But here is the catch. You didn't buy it.
Nope.
You didn't even, remember you were going to run out today? Your kitchen simply knew, and the system just took care of it for you.
It sounds like science fiction, honestly.
It really does. But today, we are taking you on a journey into the absolute transformation of your everyday shopping experience. Our mission for this deep dive is to explore this massive shift. We're talking about moving from the world we all know right now, pushing a cart with a squeaky wheel, waiting in long checkout lines, scanning barcodes.
It's fun stuff.
Right, moving from all of that into a totally frictionless, highly intelligent retail future. We're looking at a fascinating excerpt called Predictive Commerce and the Rise of Autonomous Retail.
And it is a fundamental, truly philosophical shift in how we acquire what we need. We are rapidly accelerating toward a reality built entirely around AI. It's redefining what it actually means to be a consumer.
Yeah.
We basically have to stop looking at retail as a physical destination we visit and start looking at it as this intelligent system that constantly interacts with us.
Okay, let's unpack this. Because to really understand where we are going, we have to understand the mechanics of what is actually happening on the ground right now.
We have to look at the foundation first.
Right. We are not just talking about a slightly faster cash register or like a better self-checkout kiosk. We have to look at the first massive hurdle, which is eliminating the physical friction of shopping entirely.
The physical bottleneck.
Exactly. We're moving toward the widespread reality of the completely cashier-less store.
Yeah, and the foundation making that cashier-less environment possible, it relies on a massive deployment of computer vision and interconnected physical sensors.
Which sounds intense.
It is. The mapped-out customer journey in the source material is almost jarringly simple, though. You walk in, you pick up the items you want, and you literally just walk out.
Just walk out.
Yeah. There is no scanning process. There's no wallet to pull out. The AI just handles the billing automatically in the background.
Just visualizing that sequence, walking in, picking up an item, and just strolling out the front doors, it feels completely surreal to me.
Oh, absolutely.
As I was thinking about this, I couldn't help but compare it to that childhood anxiety of accidentally walking out of a store without paying.
Oh, I know exactly what you mean.
You know, that sudden panic. You're checking your pockets thinking, wait, am I shoplifting right now?
That heart drop moment, yeah.
Right. Because we have decades of ingrained consumer behavior telling us that the checkout line is the universal symbol of retail. You gather your stuff, you stand in line, you swipe a card, you get a receipt.
It's a ritual.
It is. Erasing that psychological barrier and just strolling past where the registers used to be, it's going to feel like breaking the law the first dozen times you do it.
What's fascinating here is how these physical sensors represent the ultimate frictionless environment. But to understand how it actually works seamlessly, we have to look past the idea of simple security cameras.
Right, it's not just a guy in a back room watching a screen.
Exactly. We are talking about sensor fusion. The AI is constantly observing, analyzing, and digitizing physical reality in real time. It's essentially creating a continuous three-dimensional digital map of the entire store.
Okay, let's dig into that technical side for a second, because sensor fusion sounds great in a paper, but how does it actually resolve the messy reality of human behavior?
Good question.
Let's say I'm in aisle 4. I pick up a jar of peanut butter, I read the nutrition label, I change my mind, and I shove it back on the shelf, but, behind the jelly where it doesn't belong.
Because people do that all the time.
All the time. How does the system know I didn't put it in my pocket?
Well, that exact scenario is why sensor fusion is so necessary. It's not relying on just one single data point. The computer vision network, which is dozens of cameras embedded in the ceiling, it acts as the eyes.
Okay.
And they use skeletal tracking to map the actual joints of your arm as you reach out.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, and simultaneously you have microsensors embedded in the shelves acting as the nervous system, basically feeling the environment. They measure weight down to the gram.
Oh, so it's a double check.
Right. So when you pick up that peanut butter, the camera sees your hand grasp the object, and the shelf sensor registers the exact weight discrepancy of that specific jar leaving the shelf.
So the system binds that jar of peanut butter to me digitally the second it leaves the shelf.
Precisely. It creates a seamless digital mirror of your physical actions. It's essentially assigning the item to your virtual cart.
Got it.
Now, when you put it back, even if you hide it behind the jelly. The camera tracks the skeleton of your arm, returning the object to a shelf. And the shelf sensor registers the weight, returning to the physical architecture.
And it updates.
Yeah, the AI instantly removes the item from your virtual cart. Scanning isn't happening at a register anymore. It is happening continuously, step by step, millisecond by millisecond, as you navigate the space.
I have to admit, that is incredibly clever. But what about human interaction?
Like what?
What if I pick up a bottle of water and I toss it to you? Who pays for it?
Yeah. The AI tracks the transfer because the computer vision is continuously tracking the skeletal movements of every individual in the space. It registers the object leaving your physical possession and entering mine.
Hey, really, it's that fast?
It is.
Yeah.
It unbinds the water bottle from your virtual tab and immediately assigns it to mine. The AI resolves all that ambiguity through constant, unbroken observation.
So the physical store basically becomes one giant, intelligent checkout counter. The entire building is the scanner.
Yes.
And every movement is a transaction just being processed in the background.
That is the essence of eliminating physical friction. The architecture itself absorbs the labor of the transaction.
But, eliminating the checkout line only really solves the friction inside the physical store.
That's true.
What if the system could eliminate the friction of you having to even remember to go to the store in the first place?
Yeah.
Because removing the physical friction is only the beginning here.
We are moving into a whole different territory now.
Exactly. We're moving from physical observation to psychological anticipation.
And this is the pivot from just autonomous retail into the realm of predictive commerce.
Right. It is one thing for the store to know what I just put in my bag. It's an entirely different universe for the store to know what I'm going to want before I even realize I want it.
It is wild.
It is. And the mechanics of predictive commerce, according to the text, rely on analyzing three very specific metrics about you: your behavior, your preferences, and your timing.
Think of those three metrics like a world-class chess player anticipating your moves. A novice chess player just reacts to the move you just made.
That is traditional retail.
Exactly. A grandmaster anticipates the board 5 turns in advance based on your historical playstyle. That is predictive commerce.
Oh, I like that analogy.
Behavior is the analysis of your actions. How you navigate the space, how long you linger in front of a specific display, what you pick up and put back down.
Right, and preferences are the actual choices I make. The specific brands, the flavor profiles, the price points I consistently gravitate toward.
Exactly. But that third metric, timing, that is the engine of the entire predictive model.
Because timing is everything.
It really is. Timing is how the AI understands the life cycle of your consumption. It doesn't just know that you buy a specific brand of almond milk. It knows exactly how many days it takes your specific household to consume 32 ounces of it.
Think about your own Tuesday routine. For everyone listening, let's say you always walk down the cereal aisle. The AI knows, based on your behavior, that you always hesitate for about 5 seconds between the name brand cereal and the generic brand.
It sees that hesitation.
Right. It knows from your preferences that you usually buy the name brand.
Yeah.
But it knows from your timing that on the 3rd week of the month, right before payday, you consistently opt for the cheaper generic brand.
Because it's tracking those financial cycles too.
Yes. And the outcome of analyzing all of that is the AI recommending or even completely pre-stocking that generic cereal for you on that specific Tuesday without you lifting a finger.
Because the AI has mastered your timing, it can successfully anticipate your life.
So what does this all mean? I have to push back on this concept of pre-stocking.
Okay, let's hear it.
If an AI is analyzing my timing and my behavioral hesitations to the point where it is proactively having items delivered to my house, or, waiting for me in a locker, am I still actually making a choice? Or am I just following a consumption script that an algorithm wrote for me?
It is a profound question about agency. I mean, to really see what is happening, we have to contrast this with how supply chains have functioned for the last century. Historically, retail operates on a reactive supply chain. The grocery store is essentially a giant warehouse. It just sits there, passively waiting for you to realize you have a need.
Right.
You run out of coffee, you initiate the thought process, you get in your car, you navigate the store, and you execute the purchase. The burden of initiation is entirely on the consumer.
Yeah. The store literally does nothing until I walk through the doors and demand a product.
But predictive commerce creates a proactive supply chain. The system is no longer waiting for you. It is actively anticipating your needs based on the data models of your life.
Wow.
By mastering your timing, the AI shifts the burden of initiation from you to the system itself.
So the AI is the one taking the first step.
Right. You are still making a choice in the sense that your historical choices trained the algorithm, but the mental friction of the decision-making process, the remembering, the planning, the choosing, it's entirely outsourced to the AI.
It's doing the mental labor of shopping for me. It's taking the cognitive load off my plate, basically saying, hey, we noticed your consumption rate means you are out of coffee. Here it is already waiting, which honestly sounds like absolute magic on a stressful weekday.
Oh, it is the ultimate expression of convenience, but that magic requires a fuel source. And that fuel source brings us to the core tension of this entire evolution in commerce.
Which is the darker side to this convenience. The text highlights this explicitly. The system is undeniably convenient, but to achieve that proactive, predictive magic, it has to be deeply intrusive.
Very intrusive.
We have the marvel of the frictionless physical space, but there's a heavy cost to achieving it.
Because personalization at this scale requires absolute visibility into your life.
Here's where it gets really interesting, because I want to ask you, the listener, to think about this trade-off right now. What are you actually willing to trade for a completely frictionless life?
It's a tough question.
Are you okay with a store's computer vision system and embedded physical sensors watching your every single physical move? Tracking your micro-hesitations in an aisle and analyzing your exact consumption cycles if it means you never have to stand in a checkout line or write a grocery list ever again?
If we connect this to the bigger picture, we can see why this level of convenience feels so intrusive. To have commerce that is deeply proactive, commerce that literally pre-stocks your life, the AI has to create what is essentially a digital twin of you.
A digital twin.
Yeah. It isn't just building a demographic profile that says 30-something professional who likes coffee. It is building a dynamic, real-time simulated clone of your behaviors, your financial anxieties, your dietary shifts, and your daily routines.
So when I'm standing in that aisle hesitating over the cereal, the cameras aren't just making sure I don't steal.
Not at all.
They are updating my digital twin with a hesitation metric to better predict my financial behavior next month.
Exactly. The sensors and the behavioral analysis that make the cashier-less store function, they are the exact same tools fueling the digital twin. You cannot have the convenience of predictive commerce without the deep surveillance of the frictionless store.
They're just two sides of the same coin.
They are inherently linked. Personalization requires immense amounts of data, and data requires unbroken observation.
Because the AI simply cannot predict my timing if it doesn't watch my behavior constantly.
Right. So when you walk into an autonomous retail environment, you are no longer just exchanging currency for grocery.
You're exchanging data.
You are exchanging your physical movements, the dwell time of your gaze on a product label, your routines, and your timing. Privacy is the ultimate currency we are paying to buy back our time and our mental energy.
We are paying with a real-time behavioral clone of ourselves just to avoid the friction of the checkout line. It is a massive societal question, really. Where do we draw the line? How much of our privacy are we willing to spend?
And the balance between that deep personalization and our fundamental privacy is the exact tension that will define the next decade of retail. Society has to decide if the frictionless life is actually worth the cost of constant observation.
It completely reframes the everyday act of just, walking into a store.
Right.
To bring all of these concepts together, we are looking at a future of retail that operates on three massive shifts.
Right.
First, it is rapidly becoming frictionless, utilizing sensor fusion and computer vision to basically erase the physical barriers of shopping and turn the entire store into a seamless scanner.
Yeah.
Second, it is becoming highly intelligent, utilizing predictive AI to analyze our behavior, preferences, and timing to shift from a reactive supply chain to a proactive one.
That's the predictive part.
Exactly. And third, it is becoming deeply personalized, offering incredible convenience by anticipating our needs, and it's a big, but demanding a massive sacrifice of our privacy and the creation of our digital twins in return.
As we look toward that frictionless future, I want to leave you with one final thought to ponder. If AI eventually perfects the if it completely masters our preferences and proactively pre-stocks our lives to entirely eliminate the friction of choosing, do we risk losing the joy of serendipity? Will there ever be room in this highly intelligent, perfectly anticipated system to accidentally discover something we didn't even know we wanted, or will AI eventually learn to predict our happy accidents too?
Thanks for listening to another episode of AI 10X brought to you by 10 Leaves.